Alright, y'all, what's good, y'all? Hope y'all having a nice day. We're gonna be reacting to Remember Him, He Finally Got Caught. This is Ray William Johnson. This is the first video I'm gonna watch of him. I've never watched a whole long video of him. I just watched the shorts, or not the shorts, but the TikTok clips. But we're gonna be watching a new video today. If you're new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop into this video.
So this guy is about to make millions of dollars by hyping up a product that doesn't exist. Now, like me, the guy's name is Ray, and Ray is 24, living in Miami, and bro really wants to be rich, and he's always cooking up some kind of new scheme to make that happen. Like he's stealing prescription drugs and selling them for a while. Then he and his friends borrow some money and they start a luxury car rental business. And that business does pretty well, but they're young and
I always wanted to try. First of all, how do you sell something that don't exist? First of all, how do you buy something that the Americans, Lord have mercy. I always wanted to buy some cars and like rent them on tour or something.
kind of dumb, and pretty quickly they blow through all their profits and their business fails. And that is when Ray is back to square one, and now he needs a new hustle to make money. And one day in 2017, one of Ray's friends, this guy, who we'll call Sorbet, gets a crazy idea. They want to create a debit card that lets you access your cryptocurrency. That way you can instantly buy stuff with your Bitcoin when you're like out at the store or something. And a debit card for crypto?
That's smart.
Honestly, it's not a terrible idea. And so they're going to create a whole fake company and attach it to a cryptocurrency, like a shitcoin. However, Ray, Sorbet, and their other friend, this guy, Farkas, they have several problems with this plan. One, they know nothing about crypto, nothing about Bitcoin or anything about that space. And two, the very specific technology for a crypto debit card, it either doesn't exist or these guys just don't have access to it. Not in 2017. But whatever, these guys just want to be rich, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to make that happen.
I'm not gonna lie, I know the statement I made about how do you buy something that don't exist. I can see how you can buy something like this. Like, this is a good idea. Like, you ever heard of an idea and you mad that you didn't come up with it first? This is one of those ideas where you just be like, how did I not think of this first?
And so they come up with this whole ass scam. First, they set up a company called Centratech, completely fake and made up. They make a company website and they make themselves the employees. Here's actually a picture of the three of them all dressed up like they know what they're doing. Then, to make themselves appear more credible, they create fake LinkedIn profiles for themselves, claiming that they're all Harvard graduates. They even make up a fake CEO of this fake company. Like, they literally Google the words old white guy, and they find a random picture, and they post that picture of that guy as the CEO.
It's gotta be illegal.
All of this looks legit. And now, all they gotta do is promote it. So they all go into crypto message boards and chat rooms and they start hyping up their fake company, hoping to get people to invest. Here's the thing though, some people do actually invest in this company. Not a ton, but you know, it's something. But about a month or so in, suddenly, pow, their company gets a random endorsement from a somewhat known crypto guru. And overnight, kaboom, their company blows the up, and suddenly all kinds of people are investing, and they now have millions of dollars invested in their fake company based on a technology that they don't have. But now there's a real buzz around what they're claiming Centratech is going to do. So
anybody in the comments, if you was in this position, you came up, and let's say you didn't mean it for it to go this far and there's no turning back, what do you do at this point? Do you just disappear? Do you take it and do something with it? I don't really know what you're supposed to do at that point. You got $17 million or having a couple $1 million, and now, like, what's the next step? Because you don't have it. Your name is attached to it, but not really attached to it. I don't know.
So they just run with it. They get a legit office space so they don't have to work out of their bedrooms anymore. They hire like 50 other employees to come work for them. They get these fake Centra cards made to use as like promotional materials, like a proof of concept. They even hire celebrities to endorse this card. Like here's Floyd Mayweather endorsing it.
What?
They get DJ Khaled to promote it. And so this builds even more hype for their company.
Hey, for those watching this, I got a crazy idea. Affiliate marketing, whatever it's called, where you get a famous person to do it. That's all you really need. is a name. A name is always going to be bigger than the business, bro. So always try to find somebody to promote your stuff. Lord have mercy, you scare me.
And makes them look even more legit. Now, what are they going to do with all this hype for their company, considering their product is fake? They're going to try and raise even more investment money. And this is where they start selling CentraCoin, their shitcoin, to the public. And so, bam, their coin goes live. And it's selling fast because they've been generating a lot of hype. And soon, Ray and his friends have raised tens of millions of dollars. And now, with all this new money, they got to start spending it. And so Ray is out here buying new tailored suits. He's at the mall shopping every day. He gets a new luxury car. He's always like carrying around tons of cash on himself for some reason.
Oh, I'm thinking I might be locking in. Hear me out. What if, as they was making the website, most people don't go to the terms of services and the privacy settings, whatever you want to call it, right? Terms of agreements. Nobody goes through that. What if you put in that, like, this is for the research, funding for the research to have a debit card for crypto. So then technically you can't get sued, and technically it's not illegal because you can say that you're working on it. So as all these people donating this money, instead of like being like, oh, you're getting this debit card, it's like, no, we're researching to try to build and get access to a debit card to control your crypto. And then that's where you get to keep all the money and actually fund some stuff. I feel like that might be a good idea. Y'all let me know.
I guess just to like show it off. Meanwhile, the guys, they're all promising their investors like, yeah, don't worry, we're going to get these crypto debit cards out by Christmas. But again, they don't have crypto debit cards because these guys don't have the technology. But they still don't seem to care. They keep spending money because I guess they don't think they're ever going to get caught. Until... After all this hype these guys have been getting, a reporter for the New York Times starts paying attention to them. And so he's doing his research, and he finds some of their Instagram accounts. And I don't know what they were doing in all their Instagram photos, probably like partying or stunting in their new whip. But whatever it was, this causes this reporter to say, yeah, these guys definitely didn't go to Harvard. And he starts thinking maybe...
Of all things, you worrying about the college that they went to? Lord have mercy. That's how you know the credibility from going to a certain college is super high and crazy that you sit there and look at somebody and be like, you ain't go to no dang Harvard.
Their company isn't legit. And so he wants to hear from the CEO of this company. But remember, the picture of the CEO on the website is just a random photo Ray and the guys found when they Googled old white guy. And so anyway, the reporter reaches out to Ray and the guys, and he's asking them all kinds of questions. And they're like bullshitting him, and he wants to speak to the CEO. And they're making up excuses, and they're like, oh, he's busy. But with all this sudden pushback, Ray and the guys know that eventually people are going to realize their CEO is made up. And then everyone will know their whole company is a fraud. And so they decide to kill off their fake CEO and pretend that he just like died in a car crash. Like they put together a whole press release saying that Michael Edwards, our talented CEO, died in a car accident. And I guess that keeps the critics at bay for a while.
Bro, that's crazy. Because first of all, why didn't nobody just image search this person? Because then if you image search it, you can see if they have a LinkedIn or whatever. And then second of all, why didn't you just say you fired the CEO, whatever, and then you became the CEO and that you don't want to answer questions? Like, that's all you had to do, bro. Like, I'm the smart one here. I might have to start scamming.
But now the guys have a new problem. They gotta find a new fake CEO. And so they take a picture of Ray's grandpa and they put it up on the website and they're like, yeah, this guy is now our CEO.
Bruh.
But like immediately, some people start looking into it and they look at Ray's Facebook page and they find pictures of Ray and his grandpa and they're like, the CEO of that company isn't a real CEO. They just used a picture of Ray's grandpa. But whatever. I mean, Ray and the guys still don't seem fazed because they just keep hustling. They get a bunch of their employees to start building a fake app that they can use in presentations like, hey, look, our product really works. And through that, they get even more people to invest in their company.
That's crazy.
I think they actually get like 15 million more. But
More.
then, finally, it all starts to go south. Because that New York Times reporter, his article comes out about the company and kaboom, it blows the fuck up. And it like brings up their old arrest records and run-ins with the law, and it just makes them look, not so good. And around this time is when the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, notifies the guys that their company,
I've never heard of the
CentralTech,
SEC.
is now officially under federal investigation. And I guess from here, the guys panic, because within a month, most of the company's employees...
Okay, this might be a dumb question, but who's more scary, the SEC or the IRS? Because I never heard of the SEC before, so the IRS got to be more scary. Unless the SEC is the older brother that everybody's scared of, that you don't really hear the name. But the IRS is just like the common one, like the little brother, that little man that be running around beating everybody up. But SEC is the one that really went to like the county and the prison for real, that you don't really want to mess with.
Employees are laid off. Also, the guys
Is that black to make that type of comparison? Oh my
like
goodness.
fighting amongst one another, and they start draining all the money out of the company's bank accounts. But eventually, the law does catch up to them, and bam, Ray gets arrested. Here's his mugshot. And of course, the other guys, they get arrested too. And now Ray, he ends up pleading guilty, and he takes a plea deal, and he flips on the other two. And so Sorbet, he gets sentenced to 8 years in prison, and Farkas, he gets sentenced to 1 year in prison. While Ray, because he flipped on
House
the others,
arrest.
he gets no prison time. That is wild.
Hey, for the love of the game. That's really what that comes down to. That's just the love of the game. You can't even get mad at that. I mean, you can, but you can't, because 8 years is crazy. 8 years is crazy. If y'all enjoyed Mr. Ray's video, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all subscribe. Peace and love to y'all.